Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another Steve Z Chronicles. It has been a while since I videotaped. I apologize for not putting any videos up recently. But so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this right over into a video that I made a week ago, and I'll come back and explain that. But again, sorry, haven't videoed in a while, but I'm gonna start doing it again. And I didn't quit. I promise I didn't quit. I just got super busy, and hopefully got some pretty cool videos I want to do. Just gotta get the time to do them. I'm gonna go ahead and play a video that I made about a week ago, and then I will talk about that video and play some more. All right, yeah. Hey, welcome to Steve Z Chronicles. And today was my procedure. I talked about it in a previous video. And I'm still coming out of anesthesia, so if I say something stupid, I'm not gonna edit it this time. But getting close to being discharged. But the doctors did find that my esophagus does have achalasia, and so the bottom couple inches of my esophagus actually goes crooked. What'd they say? Crooked?
Kind of like a shelf.
Kind of like a shelf. So it kind of turns weird. But it's also, they put this balloon down there to check the pressures in the bottom. And that balloon indicated what my doctor was suspicious of, that at the bottom of my esophagus I have achalasia, which means that there's muscles constricting, making it more difficult to swallow. So, next step is most likely laparoscopic surgery from the outside, where they'll go in and cut those muscles so that they stop squeezing, and then they also put a flap on to help prevent from acid reflux, so that I don't have to. Did I say that right? Acid reflux? Reflux, so that I'm not on acid reflux medicine the rest of my life. So for those that were following the achalasia part of this channel, that's the update for today. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. In preparation for this, this has been on my mind. So I went through the surgery and didn't video pre-op, but you get a little post-op grogginess. I'm not as loopy anymore, so I'm getting ready to be discharged here in a little bit. That's the next step in this story. Next chapter is I'll go down and I'll cut the muscles of my esophagus. Hopefully that'll help me be able to swallow better, which I don't know if I necessarily need that right yet, because I'm definitely not losing weight, but maybe it'll just make things a little more comfortable, a little easier for me to swallow. So that's the update today. Nice and short for you. Hope it helps you. And if you're dealing with it as well, I'd like to hear your comments about it, or maybe what your doctors are saying about you. Thanks again for watching. Remember, Jesus loves you, so do I. God bless you. Have a good day. So what you saw in that video was that I was coming out of anesthesia, and then shortly after that video was made, I started tremoring really bad, uncontrolled, not convulsing, but like a shiver, an intense shiver. And I'm not sure why, but they had already taken my IV out, so they had to stick another IV back in while I was shivering and shaking. Gave me some medicine to calm me down. And while I was at that point, I just kind of went out like crazy, and I was out of it. At that point, whatever the medicine they gave me, I was done. And my wife felt my head, and she told the nurses in there, he's really hot. And I mean, she says that a lot about me, you know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just kidding. She said he feels really hot. So they took my temperature. I'm out of it at this point. Don't remember any of this. And my temperature was at over 103 point something, which is pretty hot for an adult. So I had a fever really bad. The next thing they did is they got one of those portable chest x-rays where they were able to bring it into the room
and they checked me out, and they could see there was stuff in my lungs. So they immediately got me on some antibiotics, got the chest x-ray. They could find that they saw that there was junk in my lungs. And what had happened is they put me in general anesthesia to do the procedure. And the general anesthesia the idea was to protect me from any aspiration of junk from my throat. Problem is my esophagus has zero mobility. And so the night before, I may or may not have eaten ice cream at 10 o'clock at night, which was totally legal by their standards of no food after midnight. I didn't get all of the junk out of my throat from the night before. And so when they went to do the procedure, they put the tube down my throat. Somehow the junk that was in my throat, and I have pictures of it, but they had a bunch of junk in my throat, food junk. They said they pushed that down through my esophagus into my stomach, and then they sucked out the water. Kind of weird, but they took that junk out of my throat, or tried to suck out all that stuff out of there. And anyway, that junk that was in my throat ended up in my lungs, and so I ended up with double pneumonia. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show another clip here, a couple clips. My wife was watching me going through all this as my fever was spiking. My vitals went down to, I think the lowest my blood pressure was like 87/60, and my heart rate was up at like 110, 115. And thankfully they stabilized pretty quick. Obviously, I'm talking to you on this video right now. I'm feeling much better. I preached yesterday. I preached Wednesday. I missed Sunday. I'd gotten home, but I still was way under the weather. I was able to preach last Wednesday, my first time preaching and I still have pneumonia, but I was able to preach and had no problems. Yesterday, I preached. I had a little bit of problem with a little bit of shortness of breath, but not too bad. I could feel it, but I don't think anybody else could notice it. So it was okay. It went really well. I think yesterday. I feel overall really good. Today's a sunshiny day. I needed the sunshine. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna show you a couple other clips though of some of the crazy stuff I was doing while I was under, while my vitals were kind of going weird. My wife started videotaping me in case I died, because I was doing some really weird breathing and some tremory things and some kind of crazy weird things, and so she videotaped it. So I'll put a little bit of that in there, and then I'll come back and close out the video. But thanks so much for watching. I sure appreciate it a ton.
feeling? How you feel? Feel warmer?
I did. I'm just gonna park it right here.
All right, well, sorry for putting you through the snoring, but those videos were supposed to show some weird breathing and things like that. But that was what was going on. Shortly after they admitted me to the hospital, I was there for a couple days. Did end up with a CT scan that gave a better picture of what was going on in my lungs, and I definitely had a lot of junk that had came from my esophagus, food, particulates, and things from my esophagus into my lungs, which caused the double pneumonia, and so I was on antibiotics for several days for that, but I have really recovered pretty well, pretty quickly, and I thank the Lord for that. My doctor actually, a follow-up appointment, my doctor told me that the way my lungs sounded compared to what he saw in the CT scan, he was very impressed with the quick healing. And so I thank the Lord. I praise him for quick healing there. I don't deserve that, but I am thankful for it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Health-wise, it's been kind of a weird last couple weeks. And busy before that, probably be busy after. I have some videos I'd like to make, and I just haven't had time to do it, but I'm looking forward to, I still got to blow up a turkey. So I'm really looking forward to blowing up a turkey. I want to mess with, I'd like to try to do a video here pretty soon where I put a, check the difference between the tannerite that can be exploded with 22 long rifle versus tannerite that has to be exploded with a higher velocity bullet. My assumption or my thought is that maybe the 22 caliber version tannerite is it's got to be a little bit more volatile so that a 22 slower projectile can explode it. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference in the explosion. I've never used the 22, and I'm not going to watch any videos on it. I'm going to make my own video. I'm going to do my own research on it, and hopefully you all will be able to enjoy the ride for that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for praying. I'm getting healthy again. I have a appointment coming up with a thoracic surgeon for a consultation for surgery. They're going to do hopefully what the plan is, from what I understand, is they'll do a laparoscopic surgery somewhere in my chest area with some small holes. They'll go in, they'll cut the esophagus, about 3 inches of esophagus muscles that are constricting and won't let food through. And then they also put some sort of a flap on the bottom that kind of reinforces that bottom sphincter muscle, so that it'll prevent me from having acid reflux issues, hopefully, prayerfully. But that's where we're at for that. That's coming up in February here, February 14th. And then I don't know when the surgery will be. I don't know how far out they will be able to, or how soon they'll be able to get me in, but that's the plan. So anyway, thank you so much for watching the video today. Hopefully it was informative to you, and but I'm looking forward to some fun videos coming up in the future. This wasn't as positive and as exciting a video as I'd like to put out there, but for those that battle with achalasia or peristalsis and zero mobility in your esophagus, I'd like to hear from you. Leave a comment. Tell me what's going on, what they did with you. If you've had that surgery, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear about that surgery. I'd love to hear if it worked for you, if anything for me to stay away from or to watch out. All those things would be awesome. So please leave a comment below about that. That'd be great. Like it, share it, subscribe, please. And again, thank you so much for watching. Remember, Jesus loves you. So do I. God bless you, and have a great day.